Yay! I am so excited to be here. It's going to be super juicy, super fun. I have so much energy I want to share with you, as usual. Okay, so 7 things. So the first that I want to talk about, because especially as we're building our relationship with money, this can be a switch that people are not mindful that we want to be making. So first, creating from a place of desire, right? So we are not calling in money from this place of like, oh, I need it because I need to do that. I need it because I need to do this. I need it because I need to hit this level. Like, need, even when you say the word, okay, so say it out loud. I know I can't hear you, but just say it to yourself. Need, and how like kind of like closed and tight that feels versus desire. Doesn't desire feel really good? Like, I like saying that word, right? So it's about creating in your business, calling in money from a place of desire. Like, what are all the yummy things you're going to be able to do when you have this money? I always talk about how money loves purpose. Like, you think you're going to be excited just by having cash stacked in your bank account. And it's like, yeah, cool. Like, that's an amazing feeling. But to generate it and to call it in, I promise you, you will call it in much faster if you focus on your desires, that next level version of you, how she's living, how she's being, how she's moving through the world, right? So when you desire the money to really like up your pleasure, up your juicy living, up your freedom, up your experiences, up your ability to give and be generous, like, the energy that you're bringing to your manifestation process is like this big instead of like constricted in your throat like this. Keisha, need is a low vibration. Exactly. But we won't always realize that we're moving in need because we'll get in that kind of like scattered, stressed energy. And you can manic manifest, right? But why? It's stressful. And I know you guys all know how to do that because we've all been in a position of being up against the wall and then we make shit happen, right? That's manic manifesting for those of us who can't get on board with being inspired to call in, inspired to move forward, rather than needing to wait until we're in pain and fear. So like, we get to choose, right? So people are motivated by pain and they're motivated by inspiration. So I vote for allowing yourself, and this is what I've done for myself, to be motivated by inspiration. Where do I want to go? Where do I desire to be? Versus that like, this needs to happen, right? And it's so much more open energy. And you may have heard me talk about how the universe loves to give to a clear channel, right? So we're clearing out, we're always clearing out our drama, stuff, limiting beliefs, all the things, right? And this is why, ladies, it's great to be in Money Queen. Please get in Money Queen. I know Crystal is in there. She loves it. Noxie chatted me today. I love this story because she is a photographer. And so, not my typical client, right? Like, I work with a lot of women who are either in the corporate space and calling in their next level of life, or they're coaches, healers, in service-based businesses where they don't need to be in person. And she's a photographer who was like greatly impacted by COVID. No big shocker. It's been months, totally stagnant in her business. Hopped into Money Queen. Money Queen only launched a week ago. So this is like phenomenal success for the course having launched a week ago and her having gotten in it like later than that. She immediately called in $500. This is like no money coming in for months. Immediately called in $500 from someone who wanted to like renew their, ability to use her photos. I don't know photographer language that well. Apologies. And then yesterday, I think it was yesterday, somebody reached out for a $2,500 headshot photo shoot. So she's now who's confirmed. So she's now manifested $3,000 in less than a week after not having made money for months being in Money Queen. Okay? Like, money is my vibe, ladies. Get in there if you're not in there already. But beyond that, so this is how you really get like deeper into it, right? But this piece of desire and creating from a place of desire is just so powerful. And that is a big shift that I made that allowed me to like really step into that next level, because I had been at those 30K months, and those are great, but like I'm here for more, right? Because what happens? I show you that I can do it, right? Then I teach you, and then you do it, and then my mission to help good women get rich on the planet gets fulfilled, and there's that ripple effect because you pass it down, and the person that you help passes it down, and the person that they help passes it down. And this is how we make a difference on the planet. And this is my way also of helping you step deeper into being queen, just so you can be happier, and also, of course, to be able to contribute more to the world. But let desire be your motivator. So we really want to like move out of scarcity energy with money and really focus on desires. Like if any of you have listened to Joe Dispenza's work, and he talks about, right, like he's helped people have these like, what is it called? Like spontaneous healings, right? And you know how this concept of like everything we want lives in the quantum field. And, you know, it's kind of about like going into the quantum field because everything that you want is already there. So one way to like easily tap into that is to like allow your energy to be there instead of on like what's not happening, what could be happening, comparison. Because the more, and this is where the vibration thing is real, ladies, and I live in the real world and in the spiritual world, but I was able to feel this money before it was coming. For those of you in Money Queen, I literally say in one of the last modules, I hadn't hit 50K yet, but I knew it was coming, and I said, like, feel free to DM me and see if it actually happened, because I was recording that content, you know, like all the way through till that time, and it happened. Like, I'm not even afraid to say it in public when I know, and it isn't there yet, that it's coming, and to say that I know that it's coming, right? In integrity. I don't say something's happened that's not happened yet. But it did, and I could feel it in my body. And so much of being able to feel it in your body is to be able to feel your desires like now, right? So it's not like, oh, I'm going to be able to go on the vacation in 5 years or whatever it is. It's like, I want it now. And it's not like I want it now and I don't have it, so I'm in scarcity. It's like, the universe is a giver. I desire this now. Does that make sense? Okay, creating from a place of desire. 2, okay, it's so easy for us to get wrapped up in spiritual jargon. Please drop the spiritual jargon that is keeping you stuck. And it doesn't mean that it has zero merit, but a lot of the times we're leaning on it to try to feel better about what's happening today, rather than allowing ourselves to be led to the opportunities and through the doors that are going to take us to the next level. Perfect example. You hear all these women saying this online. You're exactly where you need to be. Okay. If I carried around the vibration every day of I'm exactly where I need to be, rather than fuck no, I'm going to be a millionaire, period, now, not right now, but like, you know what I mean? That's what we're calling in next year, right? So if I walk around being like, I'm exactly where I need to be, nothing's changing. And it doesn't mean that like you don't have patience with yourself and your process, like learning to call in money, learning like on purpose, right? Like I create my success on purpose. This is why I'm one of the few coaches who doesn't have up and down income, because I'm doing everything on purpose. There's no reason for your income to be going like this. There's no reason for your money to be going up and down like this. And there is no reason for you not to get in the energy of what you want right now, because that's how you call in quickly, ladies. Like this is how I've made multiple six figures cash in my business in under a year, which is like unheard of for a first year coach, because it's now. So I don't tell myself I'm exactly where I need to be, because and it's not, I just want you to understand this, because it's also not like, you're not punishing yourself from where you are today, right? You're still calling in from the place of desire, but your energy is so in that like sure as shit energy. It is happening. Everything that I want is happening. And then the universe starts to show you evidence that it's happening, that you're not like, oh my God, but I said I wanted to be a millionaire and I'm not yet. You're like, oh my God, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. All the things are coming, they're coming, they're coming. And you know it's going to happen, instead of being like, I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm exactly where I need to be is something that most women lean on when they're stressed and they don't know how to get to the next level or are scared to invest to get to the next level or do whatever it takes. And it's a fucking story they tell themselves to convince themselves that the universe has them right here, right now on purpose, right? And you are right here, right now on purpose as a human, but the universe is not setting you up to only receive a certain amount at a certain time. We get what we're available for and we get what we can energetically hold, right? So the way that you can speed up your whole process is, again, this is why I'm so passionate about Money Queen, because it's literally the work that I do. The whole way, like, so rather than being like, it's whatever, I'm right where I need to be, it's like, this is how I think about manifestation. Okay, like you create the vision, you hold the vision, right? You look at where you are now and like what isn't it's just this space in here between here and here that we need to fill. The universe isn't forcing you to stay down here. It's usually that we need to do clearing out, right? Like rewiring how we think about things. In our business, it's very much going to be like reworking that strategy, reworking the packaging, reworking the messaging, right? So how do I call in at the 50K level, at the 40K level, wherever you want to be? As you learn that, right, to allow you to reach the vision for your next income level, as you learn that, as you align in your strategy, your messaging, your packaging, your pricing, your marketing, your branding, like business is multidimensional, ladies. We got to get all these things going to make like really big money. Sure, of course, you can get out there your 5K months, etc. Just doing some of this, some of that. But, you know, I'm a big money girl. So like I'm talking about big money. These are the things that we want to get right, and we want to get them right consistently because there's no reason for like, I'm so big on building foundation in your business that you can scale from so that your income doesn't need to be up and down and all over the place. Like we're here for sustainable living, sustainable income, sustainable everything. Okay, so when you set the vision, you hold the vision, you allow yourself to be led because literally number 3 that I have on the list around, I don't want to get there all the way yet, but we can just dip into it, is don't question your intuition. So when you set the vision and you hold the vision, then the universe is going to start talking to you. The problem is we don't always want to hear what the universe has to say, but we need to listen because what happened for me, it was like, okay, do this, do that, put this offer out, like things where I like normally don't do, and close this part of your business that's no longer in alignment. Put these things out. And I was like, really? Like, okay, because a lot of times we'll be afraid to let things go. But over and over and over and over, I see it that when we ask for big things, our whole environment isn't set up to receive them or we would have them already. So usually, so on the spiritual, emotional, the physical level, and like within your business, you're gonna have to allow the rearranging in order for you to receive more. So for example, the woman's business who's at 10K a month looks very different from the woman's business who's at 100K a month, right? So to go from over time from 10K a month to 100K a month, you literally have to allow your business to rearrange so that it can actually hold that amount of money. So then when your intuition is telling you to go do things you've never done before, to go invest in places you've never invested, well, no big shocker because you asked for something new, right? So that means something has to change. We can't just sit in stillness and expect all these new big things coming in. Remember, we're talking about quantum leaps, not life like moving like this, right? So that means that you follow your intuition quickly. I don't question mine anymore. I will go make scary investments because I'm like, oop, there it is. I'm being told. So your intuition isn't always going to be this like super loud moment that's like voice booming down from the heavens. That's not how it works. Sometimes we get those like big shocker moments where we're like, whoa, okay. But most of the time on a day-to-day level, it's quiet. And so this is where, you know, I teach you how to tap deeper into this in Money Queen too, but it's like, it's quiet and it's not loud, but what it is, it's neutral. It's not emotionally charged. So you really want to be paying attention when you're in that state, whatever it is for you. You could be doing walking meditations, meditating at home, chanting, whatever your things are to get you like grounded. You want to listen to what comes through and notice that it's neutral and it doesn't feel charged in any particular way. It doesn't feel overly positive and it doesn't feel negative. It just feels like a fact. Okay? Those facts are the universe talking to you. Please move forward quickly, because what ends up happening most of the time is women hear the message, and men too. I'm talking to you ladies because I coach women, but this is everybody, right? We hear the message and then we add all of this extra bullshit on top of it. Like our brains are just so much of this. We got to learn to manage our brains because they're not in 2020, right? So your brain starts coming in, your fear starts coming in. You start replaying the past instead of keeping focus on your desires and your future vision, right? And so then you start questioning it. It doesn't feel right. And is that the right strategy? Is that the right thing to do? Can I actually invest this money at this time? We do that whole game, and then all of a sudden we're scared. And now we've created a new fear wall that needs to be worked through, a new set of limiting beliefs that we slow down and decide we need to overcome before we do anything. And we create this whole self-help drama instead of just going forward, because the universe already gave you the message and what you want is on the other side of that thing. I cannot re-emphasize enough how important it is to master this, ladies. Like, this is something that has changed for me so much, because I used to do the same thing. Like, you'd hear something, then you'd be scared, or you'd be scared of a price tag for having someone help you, or whatever it is. Like, I've done all these things. And then it just creates this whole cycle, like I said, of like fear and anxiety. And now we have like a new set of problems to work through. And then meanwhile, we're just letting our desire float far, further and further and further out into the future and wondering why nothing's changing. Stop doing that. It does not mean, and let me know if you understand, like, are you feeling this? Do you understand what I'm saying? This does not mean that you put a cap on your emotions. Never, ever, ever. This means that you are learning how to multitask in your life, right? So we're receiving help for what I call our emotional wobbles. They're totally normal. We are human beings in a meat suit, having a 3D experience with access to the 5D, right? So you take care of your emotions, which is why I have healing in my business container, because I understand that's real. And the last thing I want to do is like try to stack all this business on top of like a wobbly emotional foundation, right? That's not productive. So you take care of your emotions and you recognize that the universe already spoke to you and you move at the same time, right? So people get slow results because they're like, I'm going to do this little thing. Then I'm going to see how it goes, and I'm going to see how I feel and like integrate for 100 years and all these things. Then I'm going to do this little thing and like see how that goes. Da-da-da-da. Obviously, someone who's making big money is not moving like that, okay? And it's not about putting yourself in masculine overdrive or toxic masculine overdrive, whatever you want to call it. It's not about, because what is that? That's scattered all over the place, doing 1,000 things, can't settle, da-da-da. It's not about that. Like, so many people confuse this moving fast energy with working harder. It has nothing to do with that. It is about moving with precision and moving quickly. So when you get told to go, like the way I was told to go, I don't then go take 3 months to create the offer or another month to go invest in the person who I already heard was a yes. I just do it. And I'm like, I was told. I also trust my process, because like what I teach in Money Queen, I have been doing like, yeah, so it's evolved over time as I've made more income in my business. But you evolve, you go with me from that place where I was more around like 10K months till where I am now at 50, right? So you get like my full process of where I was then to where I am now over time, because obviously it's evolved because I've been making more money. I get a deeper understanding of money. So then I teach it. But you learn to just like, you're like, okay, I trust myself now because I've also been doing the work. So I've seen that it works over and over and over and over. Like I just told you about Noxie, who hadn't made money in months, started doing the work, called in 3K in less than a week. It works. Okay. And so it's like, and then I'm more practiced, right? So I do it over and over and the numbers get bigger and bigger. And I learned to move faster, honestly. And it's not working more. It's just moving faster and taking less time to do things, because also this is where strategy mastery is so important, because once you master your strategy, you understand how to ladder your business to get to that kind of like 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, wherever you're going. Then you know how to like add things in without a lot of like questioning, and like you know how to sell, you know how to package, you know how to do the thing, so it doesn't take you 3 months. You can whip something up and go, and you're off to the races, right? So I'm really good at doing that, so that I'm not stalling the money by being like, and of course some things are going to take a little longer in your business than others, but I'm saying like usually when you get led, it's like for you to move quick. And so you have to have that clear understanding of like how to do things, so that you know for sure what you need to spend more time on and where we just need to move quickly and like hop to it and get it done, right? Because you have all this energy around you, from you claiming your desires, from you holding the vision, from you being willing to release, from you being willing to allow the universe to rearrange, so that now when you move forward, the universe is there with all of its momentum behind you, so it's going to land. If you use that time to dilly-dally and be all over the place, you're just, it's like taking all this energy that was going crazy and you're just like, and now we're dragging and we're dragging and we're dragging, and it's going to take longer and it's going to take longer, and then you get more tired, and then you're like, it's not working. Now you're like, do I feel aligned with this offer? And we go down that whole drama. Ladies, we get to skip that. And don't let what I said confuse. This isn't also, because I really try to make sure you don't take in what I say as totally black and white. This is not about always working. This isn't about not allowing yourself to rest. It's none of these things. But you can imagine if, let's say, even if you are working 2 hours a day and you're super precise, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're allowing yourself to be led, and you're jumping when the universe says jump and doing those things, you'll make so much more money, right? Because if you think about it, we all have the same, you know, you've heard the saying before, like, we all have the same amount of time in a day as Beyonce. Okay, Beyonce knows how to get it done, right? All of us today have the exact same amount of time in the day. So then if you look at, so why is one person making 100 grand a month? Why is one person making 50 grand a month? Why is the other person making 5? Clearly, it's not a matter of time and working harder, because you can only work so much, so you would eventually hit a wall anyway. So this is about getting so much smarter in your business and really learning how to work with energy, spirituality, and right in action and the practical side to create those quantum results for yourself. It's so real. And the other thing about, in addition to like this whole me kind of asking you to question this exactly where you need to be message, is divine timing. This also gets used by women as like, okay, well, I'm going to like, well, the universe will just send it when it's time. And there's some truth, right? Because once you are aligned in your energy and in your actions with what you were like desire fully and what you're calling in, it comes in. But it's not because the universe was withholding from us, right? It is about, so for example, the first time I put this number in motion in June, I didn't receive it. Why? One, I wasn't going deep enough in the money work. And it's like, I know when my energy is kind of floaty, but I was like focused on other things. So I was just holding the number that I was already energetically aligned with, which is still powerful, right? Once you get your energy around certain numbers, they don't have to go up and down. Like mine stayed the same until I took it to the next level. But what am I saying? So I wasn't doing the things. I wasn't taking the steps in my business. I wasn't allowing myself to be led. I wasn't committing to my own money work that I know works. So what happened? June, July, and August lagged. September rolled around. I was like, okay, done playing. We're ready now, right? Why? Because desires chimed in. Always desire over fear, desire over everything. Desires got loud enough, and I was like, no, we're going here, right? And because I've committed to you that I'm like, we're going to do this at the speed of light. And like, this is what it looks like. So now let me show you the way. So I had to recommit. If I sat there and went like, oh, the universe will give it to me at the right time, what does that encourage me to do in action in my life, like in my waking life? Nothing. It encourages you to make no changes. So again, it's like, rather than putting the spiritual pacifier in your mouth, let's like, you know, allow ourselves to rise up and be queen and get the show on the road. Because the only thing that's divine about timing is how magically things come in once you have aligned with them in your actions, in your energy, etc., then it feels divine. It feels like a miracle because you wanted it. But the only thing is, like, you just had to get there, and how you are showing up in your spiritual attunement, in the actions that you're taking. Are you creating your business to be set up for the success level that you're asking for? Or have you set up a business that can't actually hold what it is that you want? Right? So that's what's divine about it, is that you have the power to make it happen, and not by force, but by the things that we've talked about. Like, you have the power to step into it. And I always use relationship examples because I feel like people can sometimes kind of like understand them better. Like, money can feel a little mysterious, right? There's not a lot of teaching around money as we grow up that's helpful for anyone. And no one teaches you that you can create it on purpose, which you can. But relationships. So let's say you talk to someone, right? So this is an area, right, where I'm still doing more work to align with the vibration of what I desire. But I'm so clear because I see it work over and over with money. I'm like, okay, so then who's the you aligned with this type of man? Okay, so what needs to shift, right? Whether it be things that need to be clear, how I'm showing up for my body, how I'm showing up, like, and all, just looking at all the areas and then making the changes, which now I proactively do. Rather than being like, oh, it's okay, everything's fine. It's not from a place of something's wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. Again, it's from a place of desire. Am I actually a match for what I say that I want? Because usually what we want is at a higher level than where we are. So that means we need to rise to the occasion to meet it so that it can come in. So in a relationship, you'll always hear from someone who's maybe been single for a long time, then met the love of their life. And like, I mean people who are like really in deep, soulful relationships. Because obviously it's not that hard to go out and get in any random relationship. I'm talking about when you meet people who are like, they're for each other. And like, let's say it's a woman and you talk to her about her process. She's always going to tell you like, yeah, he dropped in and it was at the right time because of all these other things that she did in her life, right? For her to align. Like, usually it's like, right, that self-love journey, creating a life you're so in love with, they're the cherry on top, feeling so good, feeling so high vibe. And then that's how she got to the place of not stressing out about it that much because she was actually happy, but she had to like learn how to do that in steps. And then that all happened and then she held it and then the person showed up. So it feels like divine timing because it feels like magic, but actually, and she was in motion to it all the time, right? So it's the exact same thing with money. So please don't just go like, oh, divine timing, then allow yourself to get stuck. Like, I'm very spiritual, but there's a lot of spirituality that I think is holding people back instead of, and letting them, like I said, giving themselves a pacifier for what's happening now, instead of empowering us to move forward, because you are here to live the biggest life that you want to live. And it is on purpose, right? And like I said, there are some people who like create incredible success, right? They don't have more time than we do. So therefore, like a lot, and no one's luckier than the next person. It's how are we moving through the universe to claim what we desire versus where are we waiting and hoping that it drops out of the sky? Because like the savior's not coming for any of us, right? So we really got to show up for the things. And then also, like, forget your concept of time, because it's about energy. It's about action. It's not about time. We already talked about how everyone has the same amount of time in the day. So clearly, success isn't about time. And if you tell yourself this story of you're too new to make this kind of money, right? You're too new for this. You're too new for that. Oh, I need to charge down here because I'm so new. And I'm into like a business strategy that has like a laddered approach in terms of your offers, your pricing, etc., for sure. But I also highly recommend nailing high-end one-on-one and high-end groups so that you can have foundation and stability in your business and then scale to lower tier from there, right? Because you need cash flow, like business, not a hobby, create cash flow. So, but if you run around thinking like, oh, well, I'm new, I can't make this amount of money. Oh, I've only been in business for a year, I can't make this amount of money. You're always putting a glass ceiling on yourself. This is my first year as a coach, right? If I kept telling myself, and I actually had a coach call me out on the news story, me doing it without realizing I was doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. You found it. And I immediately like abandoned that. Like, I don't care. I don't have to wait to have 100K months until I'm 3 years in business because I don't want to. And you actually get to have whatever you want. And you've already heard me say, like, dare to be entitled to what you desire because you deserve it and you can have it. And it's no big mystery that people who feel entitled to their desires, and doesn't mean you're walking around the world being an asshole. I'm just saying, like, you're like, I'm a queen, right? If the queen opens the door to the castles and everything's done, like, what is her life like? Like, I get to have that now. Like, decide that for yourself. So you start like going bigger, because then it'll become natural for you to go bigger and bigger. And this like being new and how much experience you have means nothing, right? So like, I've had many clients who were new. Sophie is a business coach and healer, and this was her first year coaching, and she came into the cohort and did 44,000 in 3 months. You know, Jess is a yoga teacher who helps people find their purpose and hadn't been making money in her business previously, and did 4,500 in the first 45 days. Beth had been doing, I'm not going to use Beth's example. She did do well though. She did 3,000 in the first 3 weeks, but she had been in her practice a little bit longer. With a lot of healers, and more where her story was like a lot of healers are very practiced or only know about this whole like trading time for money thing, which doesn't work. We can get into that later. You cannot build a wildly scalable, successful business charging by the hour. So anyways, had to retrain her on packaging and how to do it, how to sell it, how to message it, how to make it juicy, clients get deep results, you're financially taken care of, all of that. And she did do 3K in her first 3 weeks. And then she went on recently to have her first $6,000 week, which is like incredible, right? And so if I've been telling myself these stories about being new, because, and this is again where we're forgetting the concept of time because it's not real. And it's like, you believe in the 5D, you believe in the quantum field, you believe in all these things. But then in your day, you're telling yourself like time stories. That doesn't add up, right? So we need to make sure that the way we're thinking, the way we're moving actually adds up. Do you guys understand this? So I can tell myself stories about being new. I get to have whatever I want now, right? I get to help my clients ascend at the speed of light now. I get to move at the speed of light now. Why? Because I want to. Why? Because you want to. You guys don't need any other reason. There's so many stories. Like, we're so used to struggle stories coming before success, and 100% I've had them in other parts of my life. 1,000%. I've made a ton of money. I had destroyed myself, right? Well, I was like an emotional disaster and not healed, not well, and didn't realize like my own psychic gift and my spirituality. Like, it was just a mess, right? So we fell apart. But then I built back up. And when I started this business, I decided that this would not be a struggle because I was done. Do you know how much suffering we as women allow into our lives and like keep recreating and keep recreating and keep recreating? Waiting will keep you suffering. It just will. And it's so funny because I say it all the time, and I don't like follow Tony Robbins closely, but like, you know, we can nod to anybody worth $500 million who's created that, you know, but like, I haven't gone to his seminars. I don't do his work. Like, I know a lot of coaches really vibe with him, but I haven't. So I always say that how waiting is toxic because it keeps you stuck and you're like waiting to be ready, waiting to invest. And I've said so many times, this money that you're holding on to so tight, it's like you are not allowing it to exponentially recreate itself by investing. So nothing's actually changing. You're just pacifying yourself. You're allowing your fear brain to keep you safe. Okay, but he said, and then I was like scrolling on my Facebook, clearly I get targeted by his ads, and he literally said, waiting is the most toxic energy. Like, basically, happiness doesn't happen to people. Like, happy people go out and create it. And that is a truth. And it is the same thing for successful people. And again, this goes back to forgetting your concept of time, because if you waiting implies that you think you have all the time in the world. And guess what? Like, we really don't. Kat, who I'm interviewing tomorrow, who's in the cohort, she cracks me up because sometimes in her story, she'll be like, we're going to die anyway. Like, let's be happy. And like, it's true. Like, let's be happy, let's be rich. We have all the things because you're just letting your life pass you by when you wait. So if you wait for success instead of moving towards it, you're just letting your life pass you by. If you can allow and you're telling yourself, I have more time, I have more time, I have more time, and I have more time. And it's not about putting yourself in overdrive, but it's also recognizing that like this is your life, right? And you don't always want your joy to be out in the future. If it's always held out in the future, it's not coming. At some point, you have to claim it. And this is so true for money, and this is so true for financial success. So please forget, like, drop the concept of time, and instead let's focus on our energy and our actions, because what you want already exists, and it's just a matter of how long it takes you to go where you need to go, to release what you need to release, to take the actions, to do the things to align with your desires. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Woo, passionate about that one. Next, we want to enhance our ability to receive. All right. So we will often say, I want X, but then we are resistant to receiving X. So quite often, just using like a basic example of success. So everybody, if you're like, oh, do you want to be a millionaire? Do you want to be a multimillionaire? Everyone will say yes, right? But then why do most lottery winners have no money in 2 years? Why do all of these like overnight celebrities like destroy themselves? And we're here for sustainable wealth, right? Where it's like, yes, we're wealthy, but we're also happy emotionally and full. Like, money's just going to make you more of who you already are. So we want to be like, it's prosperity, right? Like I love talking about money and teaching about money, but it's not money just for the sake of money. It's like, we want full prosperity. So anyway, you'll ask people like, do you want this amount of money? And they'll say yes, but then you're not actually open to receiving it because you're afraid of what it means, right? So it could mean, some of like the more common stories will just be like how others will perceive you. A lot of people, like if their family isn't as well off, will be afraid their family will start asking for money. Will people start treating you differently? You can be afraid that you won't know what to do with the money, or still playing stories of you having destroyed yourself in the past, and are you going to do it again? You could be terrified to pay taxes, and it's like, oh, well, if I make more money, then I have to pay more money to whoever. We can have like all this stuff going on. And again, this is where the money work is so important, because I don't care if you're starting from the floor or if you are already making 6 figures and want to get to the next level. We all have stuff going on. And remember, I told you I recommitted to that work in order to clear to the money work and Money Queen, in order to clear house more, to enhance my ability to receive, so that I wasn't saying I wanted one thing and then pushing it away subconsciously, because this is so common with everything that we want that we don't have, is what do we actually believe about like what it means? So a practical step could be like, are you actually supported in your business to where you could receive a lot and not get overwhelmed, because like the structure and the support is in place so that like you personally in your day-to-day is all good, right? So another thing to be thinking about is when we want to be at these higher months, we really have to be supported in our business, whether it be your VAs, people taking care of your website, like web designer, graphic designer, accountant. So important to have, like, and I talk about this, like that masculine energy where like the things are stable and structured and taken care of, which is going to allow you to create and create faster, because you know that what you bring in, your business can actually hold. Are you taken care of on the legal front? Like all of these things that are kind of sometimes feel like not fun to take care of, they actually protect your business and create safe space, so that if you receive this influx of people, and you already know, I'm not saying take them all on one-on-one, that'll drive you into the ground. But like when you receive an influx of people, whether it be through high-end group, through one-on-one, through your digital offers, all things you have going on, your business is set up to hold all of those people without you getting stressed out. You cannot maintain $50,000 a month on a consistent basis or higher, or really even like 30, honestly, and be a one-woman show. Actually, you can't even be a 2-woman show, right? And so this is also why it's so important to have cash flow, real cash flow in your business, and why I really encourage you to learn how to sell high-end first, is because you want to be able to, and this is where you're treating your business like a business and not a hobby, is because you need to be able to hire other people around you to support you, whether they be like other teachers in your containers, people supporting your business, so that you can actually scale, because a business that is not properly supported can't scale. It's just not happening at all. So this is where like some of like I've talked a lot about, you know, sort of like the spiritual side of things and all of that and like how to put that in motion. But this is like that pure 3D stuff that has got to be happening. And we are trained to be so independent. And I don't know why or what the deal is with Western capitalism that taught everyone that you're supposed to like do it alone, do it alone, do it alone. But when is the last time, yeah, you show up for yourself and you know you need to believe in yourself more than anybody else does, for sure. It's your life. But when is the last time you heard of anyone creating like greatness alone? Just like we don't heal alone. Like I don't understand what magic is coming from even like, you know, something I talk about, taking care of your emotional, physical, and spiritual bodies. And like my physical body has been like such a big focus for me of late. Because again, let's talk about that later. But like it really helps keep my energy attuned. But even with that, because I'm in New York and you can't go work out in person anywhere, and even if you could, frankly, I don't want to at this point. But I had to find women that I really felt soulfully aligned with who taught online, like on a platform. So I want to show up for it and I feel committed. I feel like they're on the journey with me. Like even something like exercise for me has been like, I'm not alone. So yes, I'm super fiery. Yes, I'm super independent. Yes, I'm a trailblazer. Yes, all these things, but I'm never going it alone, ever. My business is supported. I am always being coached, usually by multiple people. I always have the support that I need, whether it be for my health, my emotions, my business, my money, for my clients, right? Everywhere in my life, there's support. Okay, so you have to allow yourself to receive support. I'm still fiery, I'm still all these things, and I still have support, right? There's nothing about support that makes you weak, and actually allowing as much support as you need in your life and business, and not trying to be like, well, I'll just figure it out, I'll just do it on my own, etc., is what is one of the things that's going to enhance your ability to receive. So everywhere in my life, so please don't take my fire and take my success and all these things to be like, oh, she just like knows how to do it all by herself. Yeah, I'm really smart. Yes, I have strategy nailed. Yes, I understand marketing and messaging and all these things. I have 15 years of experience in this department. I get it. But the thing is, I'm able to move quickly because I get it, and also because I have help. And so I get to be like, cool, you do this. Can you please do this? Can you please do that? Can you please do that? So then I can go work out and take care of myself and show up for you guys here and show up for my clients. Because what do I want in my business? I want my energy going to my audience and to my clients, not to random stuff that somebody else is better suited because this is what to do, because this is what they do for a living. So create that cash flow so that you can go higher in the support, and that's going to actually allow you to make more money, right? And I'm not talking about like over investing. You know, you got to watch your money. This is also why you need to have an accountant, so you actually understand what your cash flow is and what your profit is, ladies. Like, we've got to run smart businesses, and this is where the masculine part of creating success is very real. It's like these practical things have to be happening, and you'll see, because the more I put them into place in my business, which I even have done more of lately, my energy is so much lighter because I'm like, everything's taken care of. I'm not stressed out. Like, things that I would normally be maybe worried about, my accountant will be like telling me proactively. Like, there's so much less to worry about, so that I'm a much more powerful leader. It is not of service to your clients for you to show up drained and stressed out. That is not how we rise. That is not how we attract people to us. So the faster you get to work investing in yourself, right, for people to help you grow your business, investing in support, investing in your own care, and all of these places, the faster you get to work doing that, the more like kind of like powerful your energy body will be, so that you can listen to your intuition and take the next step forward, so that you can show up in full power online to attract your audience, right? So that you can show up in full for your clients who need your help for them to get the full transformation instead of showing up tired and stressed out and distracted. Like, it's just not a service. And frankly, you cannot charge people a lot of money if you can't show up for them in full. So you actually owe it to yourself and to your clients to be allowing yourself to receive, 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 receive. Okay? Another thing that we talked about on this topic of enhancing your ability to receive is working with accelerated energy. Okay, so who here feels the insane accelerated energy? Like, maybe for you, it's feeling like anxiety. It is feeling like you're having a hard time sleeping. It's feeling like you have a million things to do. Like, are you ladies feeling this energy? Because it is very much in the air. And I was talking to my friend Ashley Wood. Some of you might know her. She's an Akashic Records reader. And I'll kind of chat with her about energy things. And I was like, the energy's moving so fast. What's going on? And I'm an Aries. I have a lot of fire in my chart. I like fast energy. But beyond that, I was like, something's going on because I feel it. It's so fast. And she was like, oh yeah, this is like the energy of 2021. So let's prepare ourselves. And 2021 is going to be really big energy, which I was like, this must be it, because I can just feel when like things are changing and moving forward at a certain clip. Like, and I thought that was the case too, but I'll like ask her sometimes. And she said, that's a fact. So ladies, we got to be able to work with this. And one of the biggest shifts I made is learning to work with accelerated energy instead of getting wiped out by it. This is something I help so many of my clients with, because what happens? Okay, so first there's just the level of like, we say we want more and the universe immediately gets the wheels turning for you to receive more. All of a sudden, this thing's not in alignment, that's not in alignment, we need to switch this, we need to switch that. And because we're programmed to want to stay safe, we're like, no, right? But we ask for more. You can't receive more unless you're willing to allow things to change. So you just get that natural energy that like comes with the up level. And in Money Queen too, there is work to help you like just move through that up level with more grace and not get so freaked out, because it's normal. And the more you learn to work with it, honestly, it's not, like I don't get freaked out anymore really, but like I used to a lot more. I'll get like some anxiety, but I know how to work through it. It's not like knocking me out for like days. Absolutely not. But what happens is women will get so, and again, I'm just talking about women because I coach women, like so stressed out that now they're all of a sudden knocked out for days, weeks, even worse, months, being like, I'm so anxious, I'm so this, I'm so that, I can't focus, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, girl, if you want big things, you have to learn to work with accelerated energy. This is a big thing. Okay, so how to do this in action, right? So we talked about how the universe is going to lead you. So when you're feeling this big energy, and I know it's going to be hard to get your head around because you're like, but I feel anxious, I need to take care of myself. And that's true, right? Let's get up in the morning, go for the walk, do the Pilates, do the yoga, do the things. But you don't need to be doing that all day, every day. Like at a certain point, again, it's like putting a pacifier in your mouth instead of going out and claiming the thing. Because as you go claim your desires, your energy is going to calm down. So I always say, like, I never stop moving in my life until my soul feels happy, right? Because your soul knows what it wants. And you are a human body around your soul. And your soul will not stop talking to you until she gets what she wants. She just won't. Like, so you will just, so that some of that anxiety, some of that stress, some of that melancholy feeling is your soul asking for more and you're not giving it to her. So the more that you tune into your soul and go like, what is it that you want, and move towards it and move towards it quickly, you will get so much more of that calm, steady energy because you went towards your soul's desires. Does that make sense, ladies? So don't get caught up being like, oh my God, I'm anxious, now there's a problem, and think that like the world is crumbling. It's just your soul being like, go, 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 while you also do the things to take care of yourself. So we're balancing, right? We're always balancing. I'm never saying like, we're not overriding anxiety with action and doing stuff like that. It's not about that. But a lot of times the cure to the anxiety is the action and doing the new thing, because then your soul will get what it wants and you'll calm down. Yes, anxiety is unprocessed trauma, right? And it is also your soul asking for more. So this is one of the biggest things I learned is to just go, because what happens when we have this kind of accelerated energy that we have right now and that we have coming up in the universe next year, the universe is lined up to support you. So if you can imagine that the universe is like behind you, right? And it's like has all this energy going towards you to move you forward, move you forward. Because ultimately, right now, clearly we know about the planets in an ascension. We know the whole thing, right? Like we're all being pushed to move forward. That's why there's all this like yucky stuff going on in the political world, and all these horrible things are coming to the surface that need to come to the surface to clear. Nothing that is hidden heals. So everything's happening fast for everyone, right? And it is so that we can evolve to the next level, right? And it's not like we're going to be in utopia in a year. Like we're in the real world here, right? But it's like the next level for like, the momentum that is possible on the earth. So imagine that as you are stepping forward more and you are claiming more, and the universe is showing up with all this energy behind you to support you, right? And not only that, but you're on the planet in 2020. So that's fucking by design. So please believe that you are intended to create what you desire in your life quickly, or you wouldn't be alive right now, literally. So the universe is lining up to support you. So you feel like you have that like push, So that's what's making you feel kind of crazy, because you're like, I'm being pushed. But you asked for it. So rather than wipe out for a week or 3 weeks and take 1,000 years to get the offer done, take 1,000 years to get the thing done, to make the changes in your business, to get the help you need to help, to do all the things, rather than do that, go, right? Just go. Because you have to learn how to execute quickly and with intelligence. This is why come and get on a call with me so we can actually build your business like a smart business, so that you can move quickly and get results instead of moving quickly and winging it. Because moving quickly and winging it isn't going to get you anywhere, right? We want to move quickly, we want to get results, and then we want to add all this energy and add all the things and be like quantum leaping our results in all the ways we talked about today already. So you need to learn to work with accelerated energy. And this is on an emotional level, this is on a spiritual level, this is on a mental level. So again, we aren't saying that our unprocessed trauma is not real. It is so real, okay? I just came out of a few months of EMDR that changed the game for me, changed my life, okay? So yes, but I get to do all these things together, right? I'm not like, oh my gosh, now I'm in healing, so I can't do anything except heal for 3 months. Not true, not productive, okay? So yes, we're taking care of our emotional body. We're taking care of our spiritual body, right? We are allowing ourselves to be led. We are allowing our intuition to come through, right? This is where the witch in you comes in. So then spiritual, right? And then also your physical body. So this is why we want to learn, this is why how you take care of your body matters so much. I am a huge fan. I've done yoga. I've been a runner. I've been all the things. For whatever reason, like even like Pilates has changed the game for me, whether it be like cardio Pilates, regular Pilates, like the level of which you have to focus on your body, right, to do things correctly, hold the positions. I need like challenging workouts, but that also don't kill me. I've also learned to work out based on my cycle. I'm taking all these supplements. I'm doing all these things to treat my body like a woman's body, which are also giving me so much more energy and peace. So please, your physical vessel is so important, right? And like we want to, like take the supplements to help your adrenals, your cortisol, all of these things. Like this is where you have to be proactive in all parts of your life, right? So again, changes that I made. I've always been strong on the spiritual side. I've always been strong in taking action, but learn to move with accelerated action, taking bigger action, moving faster because, right, like I've mastered strategy, messaging, so, all these parts of business that you really want to master, like I have a grip on those. And this is why building your foundation is so important so that you can continue to up level quickly from there, right? So with the physical taken care of, including my body and my business, right? The spiritual, the emotional, and all those things are happening. You feel calmer when the energy is like this because you're learning to hold more. So on a call with my women in the cohort, we were talking about how your nervous system has to get used to holding more. So think about it. Like people who have these big, like multi-million dollar businesses, they aren't getting wiped out for months at a time because they get a little stressed, right? One, everything's taken care of, all the strategies in place, they're well supported, all of these things. But it's just like it's not as emotional anymore, right? You've learned to treat the business like a business, and you've learned to have millions of dollars circulating in your field without that making you panic for all these different reasons. And so this is why no matter where you are on your money journey, I don't care if you're six figures, multiple six figures, day one, you got to do the money work because we have to expand our nervous systems to hold more. This is why sometimes when you receive something big that you wanted and then you're freaked out by it or it makes you anxious, your nervous system cannot hold it. So we want to be working with our nervous system to hold more while doing all of these things so that having all these clients in your field, having all this money in your field, having more and more and more doesn't blow out your system. This is some of the stuff we do in the cohort because like we got to do that work. And it just helps so much. I mean, literally one of my clients, Suzanne, was telling me about how, so she's business to business. She works with brands and she joined the cohort to really like up level how she was working with these businesses to create better packages, get paid more, the whole thing. She's brilliant, but wasn't getting paid enough. And she was like, okay, we've been doing a lot of work. I'm big into manifestation and all of that stuff. And so by doing the work, like she was really calling in these bigger opportunities. So perfect. But then she was scared to charge more. So it's like, okay, we got ourselves almost all the way there. But now we need to be able to hold the money, right? This is why the money work is so important. So we went through this exercise to like expand the nervous system and rewrite the stories and all of that. And then she messaged me a couple of days ago. She's like, okay, I'm good now. And I was like, yes, because it just excites me so much. Like I love strategy. I love all those things, but I really I so deeply love too teaching you how to hold more money. And this is where like your wealth consciousness. So this is I like to define wealth consciousness is your ability to move through the world being like, I fucking deserve this shit. It's like the degree to which you believe your abundance is your birthright, right? Like not up here in your body, in your soul for sure. Right. And like it was just so magical. So again, just teaching her how to hold more energy. Why don't you get in Money Queen? That is what you really need to be doing so that we can also not have to create manic manifesting, because this is a sign of like, oh, I can only create money if I'm up against the wall. And we want to more, not stress our bank account in order to drive us into action. That's very stressful, right? We want sustainable living, sustainable income, sustainable wealth going higher and higher over time. Get in Money Queen so you can learn how. Okay. Last thing, ladies. Birth your shit into being, okay? So, literally, when we don't actually put the things out in the world that are so juicy and so powerful and so transformative that we are so excited about, like, the money isn't coming. You know what I mean? Like there is a certain amount of, yes, like scaling what you already have. But as I mentioned earlier, so much of this like being led is a lot of times going to be you doing something new. So please don't delay on getting it done and getting it out there so that you can ride your energy. So ride the energy that's available to you. Ride the energy that's in the universe now. Ride the energy that's going to be continuing to be coming in so quickly. So allow yourself to birth what is on your heart and don't play safe. Because a lot of the times it's going to be something you haven't done before or you haven't done this way before. And you're going to want to question yourself and be like, is this right? Is this right? Let me go rework it for 6 months. And you're going to kill the energy on it. And then it's going to be harder to do later, and you're not going to get as strong as results. Okay, like I am a pro at packaging. So please come my way for that. And like this is where it's so important. Like I said, like ride the energy, put it together like a pro, message it like a pro, market it like a pro, and the universe is supporting you. And it's all going to work. All right? So Do not surrender does not mean that you just go lay down and now start rating. Surrender means you releasing the how, but you show up for everything else, right? You make the investments, you do the work, you listen to your intuition, you birth the offers, you forget how new you are, you forget all the spiritual junk that's keeping you stuck, you create from a place of desire, right? You enhance your ability to receive, you do all these things. So what you release is the how. So you do all these things, right? Like we have to do our part, but then you don't worry about how the money's coming in. You don't worry about which client in your inbox. Is there someone in my audience who's actually interested in this? Is my audience big enough? And a quick thing on that, there's nothing about my audience that makes sense for the amount of money I make. I only have, I've had clients who have 100 times more followers than I do who make way less money right before we're working together. I have 2,700 followers on Facebook. My email list is like 500 people. Okay, you guys are here in this group. Like that doesn't add up to most coaches who make $50,000 a month. All these things aren't real, right? So if I focus on how, it would be like, I need to have 10,000 followers for this. I need this over here. I need my email list to be 2,000 people. Like all this like 3D bullshit. 3D is real for scaling and like strategy, instruction, all that stuff. But these weird like vanity metrics that we come up with, or worrying about who it's going to be, or like if the audience is aligned for the offer that we want to put out, all that stuff will slow you down. And that's the part that's not your job. Your job is all the other things that we talked about tonight. And then you surrender to the how it comes through. That's the part, and I'm type A, okay? So like I understand this whole word, hearing that word can be annoying, but how you put it in action is surrendering the how, what you do. It's sort of like if you're calling in your soulmate, you cannot try to predict whether you're going to meet them at the grocery store, at the coffee shop, online, or through a friend. Would you even waste time on that? No. So stop wasting time. You do the things to get yourself ready for that person to come through. Same thing with money. Okay. Hi, gorgeous. Thank you so much for watching this free masterclass so that you could learn the 7 key shifts that I made to call in my first 50K month into my business within a year of starting my business. The absolute next step is for you to join Money Queen. It is going to change the game for you, and you will learn how to move through the stories that are keeping you stuck and attract abundance, and to really like live your life from a place of desire. The course is really based in the spiritual, energetic, and practical ways that I work with money, and that I've taught the women who've come into my field to work with money, so that we can step into abundance with ease. So please sign up below. I love you so much, and I will see you inside Money Queen.